Devil's Temple. It released in 1969, and it was directed by Kenji Misumi, famous for giving us the excellent Lone Wolf a Cub series. Instead of starring Tomisabaru Wakayama, instead this one stars his brother Shintaro Katsu, famous for Zatoichi. So this movie was given to me along with Under the Blossoming Cherry Trees, and both were given to me by Merlin from SamuraiDVD.com, and it was for purpose of review. If you want either of these films, or both, alongside many other samurai films, then definitely check it out. You can also use the discount code Bushido Blues at checkout. So, I can definitely see why this was given to me alongside Under the Blossoming Cherry Trees. Both are a little bit different, but they go nicely together. Both films star mountain bandits. With Cherry Trees, it was played by Wakayama, and in Devil's Temple, it's played by his brother Shintaro Katsu. And both also deal with evil, manipulating women that like to control other men. So the story for Devil's Temple all takes place in one setting, and that's usually a good recipe for any kind of horror. So a woman comes to this abandoned mountain temple where she finds her husband, played by Shintaro Katsu, with this prostitute, and soon her husband falls under her spell, and the wife, of course, grows jealous. But then out of nowhere, a Buddhist monk joins them, and it becomes this battle of faith versus human desire. So, first of all, this movie is really short. It's only 75 minutes long, and because of that, it moves at a really good pace. In fact, I think more movies would benefit from being shorter. I feel like a lot of times they add all this stuff that you don't need, and this one just gets right down to the point. I just want to point out a standout scene that I really liked. There's this one scene where Shintaro Katsu's just fighting all these guys, and then in the distance, the two women are talking to each other, and they're both discussing what they're gonna do if Shintaro Katsu loses. And I thought this was a pretty clever scene, something I haven't really seen before. You know, how does this fight affect the secondary characters? So the film itself I found to be a really good example of just the weird, dark fantasies that the Japanese were so fond of. The ones with women being demons. And at this point it seems like a really common trope. I mean, the movie I just watched had the same thing. And it seems like these actresses are just really good at portraying this. I don't know if that's saying something about Japanese women, but I will say the demon woman in this is especially chilling. Especially when she smiles, there's just something disturbing about it. In fact, I just watched another Japanese horror movie. It was for my list, and that one was titled Morbido. And I'll just say a demon woman in that film had a very similar smile. And I just find that subtle stuff like that is really effective. And for some reason, that's the stuff that always comes to your mind when you're just alone in a dark place at night. Very creepy. I also really just enjoy Shintaro Katsu when he plays the bad guy. I think he did that especially convincing in this one. He seems like the type of guy who could just take whatever he wants. You can't really do anything to him. So, I enjoy this film. It's definitely not as good as Under the Cherry Blossoms. I feel like it was missing and could have had a lot more horror moments. Also, it didn't have a good creepy score like Toru Takamitsu to help it out. But besides that, I think it had good performances, it moved at a good pace, and it also had a pretty good and different conflict to it, about faith of Buddha, and just fighting human desire. And it also had a really good spooky atmosphere. You definitely need that in any Japanese horror film. So I think it's a good watch if you want something creepy, something during the cool fall nights, then definitely check it out. Once again, it's available on SamuraiDVD.com. Use the discount code Bushido Blues at checkout. Also, be sure to check out my free Discord where we discuss films like this. And if you want to help out the channel and support me, you could check out my Patreon. And like always, thanks for watching.